for 63. I mean, come on, I
You
get
look
no work.
great.
There's no work done. You know what I mean? The hair's real, but the color isn't.
You look great. You look great. I mean, the smile is the most important thing, you know. So, well, I'm really excited to interview you. So that's a great pleasure.
Well, thanks, man. I mean, ask me anything you want, man. Nothing.
Yeah. First of all, I wanted to congratulate you for this new CD. I found the sun again.
Oh, did you hear it yet?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Just like 2 days ago, and I wanted to say I think it's a very dynamic and live CD
really
compared to the other ones.
I made this record for me, so if you want to call it a vanity record or whatever you want to call it,
Okay.
I made it in the sense of, okay, I'm going to go in and do this live, because as live as possible. I cut everything live except for the vocals, because I can't remember all the words to everything.
Okay.
And I wanted to concentrate on
playing and
do the vocal the same day as the track, so it was a song a day. So everything that happened in that day except for mixing. So I was really conscious of keeping live solos and getting that immediacy. I knew the guys that I hired could handle, you know, showing up without a rehearsal and just looking at a chart. We didn't really have any demos or nothing like that, because Jeff Babco and I wrote most of the music together, really kind of like with a cassette player and a Band-Aid, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Very lo-fi, low tech, because I like to capture the stuff on tape. When I say tape, whatever, we used as analog as we could possibly be, but we did use the Pro Tools, you know.
Yeah, and you're
can't buy tape anymore. I mean, tape's like $1,000 a reel at this point or something. It's ridiculous. It falls apart. It's not like the old days as I remember, but I love the sound of it. I get what you're saying, but I mean, I made it as live as possible. I wanted to see if I could do it, and I made a record in 8 days. Now,
I read that you said that you wanted to say if you could do it, and I was thinking, if you cannot do it, then the rest of musicians can jump out of the window. It was
I mean, you know, I'm just talking in the sense of these days in recording. I mean, you have so many options, so many tracks, butts around with it. If something really bothers you, that say you wouldn't be able to even have a thought about it in 1981 because you had one track. You can get in and go, well, that was just a little out of tune, or that was just a little ahead. You know, you can get in there with this, and it's kind of cheating, really. I mean, you know, I wanted to see if I could do it without comping solos, or this is it. This is how I played it exactly. A ward or two, fine. That's how people play. But I wanted no click tracks. I wanted everybody to play. Listen to what's going on. Let's make sure you have a good headphone balance, because we're keeping this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I produced up a couple of tracks, but I did it in the same time frame. I said, okay, well, let's, you know, like the first track has that great Who section. You know, it's a little nod to Who's Next. You know what I mean? But the keyboard thing, but Jeff Babco did that live.
Yeah,
I hooked up to a
something like Won't Get Full Again. I heard.
And I give credits on the record. This one's for Pete and the Who. You know, a little dedication. Because he came up, we had this song, but he came up with that sound when we were getting sound, and I said, "Oh, fuck it, let's do it. We got to do it. Why not?" You know what I mean? It's like, it's not a total ripoff, but it's the same sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think
everybody knows where it's at. It's a total, like, I love you, Pete Townsend. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously, that's where it was inspired by. You know? Yeah. And I did that on a couple of other tracks too. I wrote like surprising influences of like what inspired this.
Yeah, there's like a Hendrix. The last song is like very Hendrix style.
Yeah, right. But it's a Robin Trower song, and most people are hip. More people should be hip to Robin Trower. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I never listened to much, but I dig that you put like a traffic song, because I really like.
That was see, all this stuff is like from my childhood bands. You know what I mean? Yeah. So from 1971, 72. I wanted to do a couple songs from that era to inspire the whole record. You know what I mean? So when I did this, that was where we were leaning, and the guys got it, and we were able to, you know, to capture that vibe, but a lot more hi-fi in today's sounds. But it was all real. Like the piano was leaking into the drums, and you know, it was all. So it was like, you know, this is it. This is how the solos were keeping. So it makes you play different. It gives you a different thing, and I was excited to see if I could pull that off. Now, on the other hand, Joseph's record, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's completely different.
I mean, he spent months working on that. You know, I mean, that was his baby, where he was able to do everything himself, and I think it's a masterpiece. It's fucking brilliant.
I interviewed him later.
We're together, so that's how the whole thing, getting back to the TOTO thing. It's like we were going to tour together, and they said, "Well, if you're going to do that, and you got new solo records, why don't you just go out as TOTO and play some of the hits and some of the stuff you like? Hell, you got your own." And I thought about it, and David said to me, who stands on our side, David Page, David, Joe, and I, he said, "Use the name." He goes, "We paid for it in this lawsuit. We have legal fees to pay off." So I said, "Well, that's a good reason to do it." You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not. We tried to just call it the Dogs of Oz and wink, wink to TOTO, right? But then it just became complicated business-wise, and the people that hated us were still going to chase after us and hate us and cost us money anyway. We'll just pay them and shut the cost of doing business. That's the way life goes. So onward. It's just Joe and I left to want to work anyway, so we found these incredible players. Spud from Snarky Puppy, and he was in Snoop Dogg's band for 10 years, but he's also a rocker. You'll hear it. If you check into our live stream on Saturday, the 21st, he's playing his ass off. And you know,
Snarky Puppy is a great band. I dig Mark Lettieri. He's great.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I never play with bad people.
I know.
I always find but so people go, "Well, it's not TOTO." No, it's not TOTO from 1978. How could it be? It's not TOTO from 2004. It's not TOTO from 2019. But there's been 15 versions of this, and I've been 15 versions of the band. I've been in all of them. I never put together a shitty band. This is a great band, and you'll see that. And I was very excited because Joseph brought over the live stream that was just finally, because we got it in 3 different time zones, so we could only do it once. So we just went. So I got to see the final. You know, last night I went, wow, that's actually pretty good, because it's done in front of no audience, so it's a weird vibe. There's like 14 people in the place wearing masks, like, you know, girlfriends, wives, and a kid or something. You know what I mean?
That's strange.
In the back of a 1,000-seat club room that's empty. You know,
yeah,
just lights going, and we're just going, "Okay, thank you, next song." You know what I mean?
It's a great audience. No one says anything.
It reminds me of playing when I was a kid when nobody showed up. You know?
It's the first time you play with no one, with no sound, silence. You're gonna.
Well, there was a couple of people in the room, and we just left that in, just going, well, you know, there was just our immediate family and people that have been working in the crew and shit like that. Just giving us, you know, yeah, great job.
But you can play a nice ballad and you don't hear any sounds. It's like, oh man, I never play like that.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So, you know, I've never done anything. We've never done anything like this. This is an experiment. This is the only way we can get out there. It's not like we're going to do this forever. This is a one-time only event. We can't like do this every 3 weeks and try to get people.
No, it's a new situation. We have to adapt. And
this is just giving everybody. I wanted to do it because it's a teaser of the new band, to hear the people play. Hey, check out these new guys play the old stuff, you know, just in case there's no TOTO anymore. Lukather's an asshole, blah, blah, blah. All that negativity that you get. Listen, it's been a year off. I'm bored to tears. Joe and I got a new product. We want to go out anyway. We might as well play some TOTO stuff. So this is sort of a lead up. The next thing that's going to happen is you're going to get some, you know, you just got Joseph's new teaser for his new single, which is incredible.
Yeah, I heard the whole CD. So
did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw the video. Yeah, they did it. It's kind of funny.
I get to play Death in it. You know?
And I love the guitars on that.
Well,
and I love the stereo panning and everything.
That's Mike Landau, my brother, man. He's
I know.
Better than Michael.
But you play into tunes in the CD.
Yeah, I play some stuff, but I mean, you know, it was really because Mike and Joe had a band when we were in high school as a side band. I mean, we've all been friends since we were little kids. You know, Mike and I we were 12. I've known Joe since he was 14. I mean, you know, Joseph was on multiple platinum albums, so he was a legitimate TOTO member. Not like I found him somewhere. They'll sound alike guys. Like he has his own sound and stuff. But he's, you know, so the two of us are carrying on with some of the guys that we had in the last band that we can hang out with, and some new blood, some new guys that got some new energy to it. So I'm happy about that. I mean, listen, I played Hold the Line when I was 19, okay?
I know.
How many times do you think I played that freaking song? You know what I mean? How many times did I play it? You know what I mean? I ran around the block with that one, but it's been it's been very good to me, so I can't be mad about it.
But that's great. And I think in this CD, I think it's the CD that I can hear more different influences, like from what you said, and it's even in one song. It reminds me to. Huh?
Well, go ahead, finish. Go ahead and finish.
One of the songs, it even reminds me of John Scofield. There's like, I think it's the second song, Serpent Soul, that it's like kind of New Orleans funk groove or whatever you're gonna call with some rotary stuff. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. That's great.
Great. Well, I'm glad because I don't know what people are gonna think because
I love that.
I've been on this for a year and I haven't been able to play it for anybody until now, till it's ready to come out, and I'm getting some positive feedback, and that makes me feel really nice. I mean, I never know because, like I said, these days it's not like the world's waiting for my new duet with Cardi B, in the Spotify top 10. You know what I mean? And I'm playing for guys that like what I do or have liked what I've done in the past. To see play to your audience. So I mean, I took some of it's a little bit self-indulgent, but hey, I mean, not with these solo records just for. I'm not trying to write hit singles. I'm trying to do some fun stuff and get some new music out there that I've just been dying to get in a recording studio and see if I could do this project like I did it. And I was pleased to say that we pulled it off. So lucky me.
Great. No, yeah, it sounds great. The results are very good. And the sound, your guitar sound, it's also different, I think.
Yeah. I'm trying to go, like these days, so many sounds are the same. Everybody's going for the same clean Stevie Ray Strat sound, or they're going for that perfect, distorted sound. You know what I mean? That's just the perfect amount of. And there's a lot of great sounds. There's a lot of similar ones. I started messing around with my new L4 guitar from Music Man. I started messing around with changing the pickup positions and messing around with the tone control, like say the back pickup and the middle pickup. And then I started messing around with the tone control. I found some very interesting, weird, more Jeff Beckish kind of sound, which it gave it more of a saxophone sound as opposed to like everybody else's sound. And because of my injuries, I don't really. I've had to change the way I play a little bit. I got
I don't know that
accident and really screwed up both my rotator cuffs. So I'm playing fast and picking every note. I mean, I could do it for a minute, but most of the time it's made me be more economic with notes, which is probably a good thing.
It's more melodic. It's good.
Being that there's like a 7-year-old kid that's the fastest guitar player in the world now, it doesn't mean anything, It's like having a 20-inch cock. It's great to show everybody, but how many people are going to let you use that? You know what I mean?
And actually, when you play less notes, when you do a fast run, it's more impressive because if you're running all the time, it's impressive.
One of my greatest influences and also a friend is David Gilmour.
I love Gilmour.
He plays one note and the whole place stands up. That's the rest of my case.
His bendings are incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I lean more towards. I was better at that than trying to keep up with fastest gun in West shit like when you're a kid. You know what I mean? There was only one Eddie Van Halen, and then everybody tried to be him. God bless my best homies forever. I'm still crushed. Because
he was my idol. I was.
I mean, everybody's.
Yeah, it was.
He was my friend. I mean, I missed a friend. I mean, we were more than just guitar buds. You know what I mean? We lived a lot of life. Our kids, the whole thing. Happy for Wolf's success at a really painful time. I'm glad everybody's giving it a listen. I'm sure it's popping, smiling down from heaven. I know it is.
Yeah. But, I saw a post from your son Trevor that I think he's an amazing player too.
Yeah, man, I'm thrilled. His band Lavara's got a record coming out, man. I'm really excited for that. It's got its own thing, and he's really excited about it. He's become a really good engineer, man. I just used him I did a little overdub. I hardly ever do sessions anymore, but Mark Lettieri from he called me. He goes, "Would you do something for me?" I go, "What do you want me to do? Do something to make you look better?" I go. He laughed, and I go, all right, send me something. I said, I'll do it for nothing. This is just for me. Thank you. I think you're so great. I'm a big fan of all the young guys that can really play. And he's a motherfucker.
Yeah, he's great.
Amazing musician and really sweet guy. So I went over to my son's house, and he's a good engineer. And I said, give me a guitar sound. I got to do something for this. So Mark sending them some stamps. I mean, my son is like engineering me and stuff, and he's a really good guitar player and really great. He's got a really unique style, and it was just fun, father-son moment going, wow, this is weird. This is like the tables have turned, And he did a great job. So I turned it and I go, well, from now on, whenever I got to do something like this, I'm coming to you. I'll pay you. I'd rather give you the money, Because I'm not an engineer. I mean, I know how to speak engineer, but I separate having a home and having a studio in my home. I like to go to work and then come home from work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's a good question came to me, but do you feel that now the young players they need to be like players, technicians, producers, doing marketing? I mean, it's like you have to do everything right now.
You kind of have to be your own one-stop shop recording-wise. You got to have. I mean, I don't know how I do it now. I'd have to learn everything or hire somebody, but. Unfortunately, I did it the old school way, where you show up and you didn't know what you were going to do, and like a little harder then. Now you get to live with it and do a million takes, and nobody knows, No, but I mean, you have to kind of be your home. I know a lot of the great guys like that, Tim Pierce and Michael.
I love Tim Pierce.
These guys are brilliant. And they got a whole thing at their pad. People just
Tim Pierce is incredible. All the albums,
and they just go, well, what do you want to hear? And their stuff's all set up, pristine, made perfect sounding the way they like it. So I mean, I see. Plus, they make another charge for like, okay, my rate goes up because I'm an engineer, producer, and guitar player. So you get me for this amount of dough. No, I don't know how much they charge, but they're certainly worth it. And I've heard and seen what they've got, and they've got a whole new thing happening. Mike Landau he's a wonderful engineer. Amazing. He's got a whole full Neve desk and thing at his house, and he's a great engineer. I'm just not. I'm the kind of guy that puts together a model airplane or something like that. And I have stuff left over. You know what I mean? Like, somebody's gonna die.
I mean, you play great, and you write, and you compose, and you sing. What else?
I do what I do, but I don't think I just laugh. I just don't have that thing you have. I can't cook either. My girlfriend. An amazing chef, and like I could give me the same stuff and tell me what to do. It'll taste like shit. She does it taste like the greatest thing you've ever had. There's a knack to it. It's an art. I don't have that. I can play the guitar a little bit. But I managed to fool him for 45 years. Shh, don't tell anybody.
That's cool. That's great. Actually, I read your book, The Gospel According to Luke. A friend of mine borrowed me this summer, so it was just a coincidence that I get to interview you. And I was thinking, did you ever think of writing like a book of stories that happened to you, just like small stories, like funny stories, because there's some funny stories out there?
First off, I couldn't because it could like ruin people's lives.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Some things are just, you had to be there,
I know.
I really want everyone to know that we did that, or I had anything.
People would like to know. It's like,
I said enough. I edited the book accordingly. I mean, like I said, when I was young and all that rock and roll stuff in the 70s and 80s and all that, it was all true, man. And everybody did it. It was all that, and I partook of it all, and did all the crazy rock and roll shit you can do.
But it's great because it looks you are very sincere in the book, and you're just planning right away, and I think that's great.
The other thing is like, I did one book, it was #1, 5 stars. I mean, one and done. Everything will be compared to that. It'll never be as good. And I don't know, what would I write about now? I start writing shitty things about people that were assholes to me. It's like, I think that's better to maybe just, it's like, I'd rather go home with the World Series ring on and just say, I'll always be able to wear it. You know what I mean? Well, you fucked up the second time. You know what I mean? Just, I wasn't mean. I was cool. I was like, everybody liked it. I did well, knock on wood.
That's good. That's great.
I might just, I discovered that, okay, I did that once. I don't consider myself a real writer any more than, like, say, my friend Jeff Garland from Curb Your Enthusiasm, great comedian, right? The big guy that plays his agent, Jeff, he's in a bunch of shit. He's a neighbor of mine. I was over and we were hanging out in the summertime in the pool. He goes, "You're a funny guy." He goes, "But you're not Comedy Store funny." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're funny guy. I think you're a hysterical guy, but you're not a comedian." I go, "Oh, no. Make no mistake, I know the difference.
Yeah.
What you guys do is a whole. That's not like me telling a couple of jokes or making you laugh by being spontaneously sarcastic or something. I go, no. Comedy's brutal, man. I go, no. Don't think for a second. He started laughing. He goes, well, cool. He goes, a lot of guys think they're funny around their friends. They get up to try to do a set and they're fucking die a miserable death. You know? And you're all alone up there naked, you know.
And most actors always say that the most difficult thing in life is making someone laugh. That's great in a stage. That's very difficult.
I'll take laughing, making my friends laugh, but I'm not a comedian. That's a job. That's
another story. Yeah.
I think somebody says, well, I do some watercolors at home, and then they write on their, on their tax returns. You know, so you're not a painter. You're an hobbyist. You know.
That's great. I wanted to ask you something about the process of composing songs. When you write with some friends like Jeff Barco, David Page, Joseph, and especially now that everyone is in the house, and how do? You record ideas, send to them, you mix ideas. How is the process? How do you? By phone, just singing something.
Well, I mean, usually we'll get together. We'll say,
okay.
A couple of us will get together and go like, I got, come on over, let's bang something out. And within the first 10 minutes, we usually have something. And then
so you never get an idea and then.
What about the lyrics? Like, let's live with it for a second, see what it inspires. And then somebody will come up with a title and then we'll just run with it, There's no particular way. Somebody might have more done than others. Somebody might just have a riff. Somebody might just have a lyric ideas. And then we work better when we work together because we make each other finish it. A lot of times if you're just by yourself, you go, it sucks, I'm not going to deal with this anymore, and you throw away something good because somebody else had been in the room saying, wait, there's something to that, and then you get lost in a great song. And I've done that to myself a million times. So I have a tendency I like to work with other people to bounce ideas off of, also guys that'll finish stuff. Okay. Like, okay, that's great, man. You take this lyric and work with this. I got to move on to this other thing. Delegating part of the process of making records. Because in order to do things effectively and cost effectively these days, you have to do that. Yeah. A lot of us, we all play on your record. If you play on mine, no money changes hands, because efforts are cut and almost nothing. You know what I mean? So the barter system, or you figure some way to do it. You write something with me and I'll write something with you. You know what I mean? And really, that's fine for me.
That's great.
And nobody's charging millions of dollars to do sessions anymore. Those days were long enough.
I think that the music scene.
Or if somebody wanted to pay me a lot of money, that's fine. But I never. Jeff Porcaro taught me a long time ago the real way to deal with all that, and I've always listened to his advice. His big brotherly advice. I miss him so much. Yeah. But listen, I got 45 years in. It's really scary. I mean, almost 44 with Toto, but when I first started doing sessions when I was 18 or something like that.
But this is great.
Started being in the scene, I really started to get happening. And 77 was a breakout year for me, That's when Toto did his first demos in January, and I went out with Bob Skaggs, and I started to do sessions with real guys, and feeling like, wow, man, this is all real. It's happening, man. It was some of the best times of my life.
And those CDs were great. Those albums were
DVD. I mean, we had fun showing up to work every day, not knowing what was going on with all these amazing musicians that are still my friends. We're still great friends with all these guys. I mean. Most of them, anyone that are still with us, we have threads of all the guitar players, Jay Graydon, Rittenauer,
Jay Graydon, I love Jay Graydon.
Ray Parker, Dean Parks, we're all just messing with each other. You're still my heroes. I'm still the young guy in that room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Larry Carlton. I love the CD with Larry Carlton. That was great.
Sensei, man, one of the greats of all time.
Yeah.
I need to give him a call today. I should call Larry today and say, hey, what's up?
Yeah, he's great.
I haven't talked to him for a while. That's the one thing. This COVID thing has kind of isolated everybody.
That's.
I see a few people. A couple people come by for dinner, but it's masks and clean up. And I just got a test, and we keep it.
That's terrible.
But I mean, I've had, I have an outdoor pool thing, you know, that, you know, I can kind of sit away and we can be
Yeah,
safe.
so you have some space.
I heard that, you know, we were, who was it? Garland's the ones that told me being in the swimming pool is actually, you have the least chances of getting it anywhere just because of the way the air is moving, the water. And I don't know if it's true, but, you know, I haven't been sick yet. But I know friends of mine that are getting sick, and these are the guys that are like,
wow, sorry to hear
it's all bullshit. I'm going, oh, you still think it's bullshit, huh? I go, you know, I think the numbers have been fluffed a little bit, but I think it's a very real thing, you know.
Yeah, no, it's a terrible thing. It's like it's terrible. I mean, any way you look at it is terrible.
His relatives are dying, or his children are dying, or, you know, that's not fake. This isn't a flu. Once it goes through, it goes away. You know what I mean?
No, and most people have friends or family. I mean, you know, that died or are having sick. And
man, after all the crazy shit I've done in my life, I'm not gonna let that kill me. Okay, I mean, come on. I want something a little bit more flamboyant. You know what I mean? Right?
More like that everyone will remind that.
You know, I fell out of a window with 4 naked hot hookers while I was fucking, you know.
I'm remembering the video you were playing with the neighbor. That was great.
Listen, I've had a thing with him for years. It's totally the hat film. That was 7 a.m. in the morning, bro.
Oh, man.
You know, come on. And 3 leaf blowers at 7 a.m. It's like 140 dB. It was like as loud as an airplane taking off. You know, I'm like, the guy just did it to piss me off. So I just, fuck this. And my girlfriend, you know, dared me to put my amp up there. I didn't even know she was filming me, and then she put it up, and it went viral, and it was hilarious. It made me more famous than anything I've ever done. So,
no, but that's my big fantasy.
Great humor, you know. I laugh at my own shit. Now I'm just this crusty old guy, eccentric old guy. So here I am. You know?
Yeah, I like the way you are. I think it's great. You know, I mean, you can. For me, you're not one of the greatest guitarists ever, but just
thank you very much. I mean,
but you're just a normal person, which is cool. You know,
aren't we all just normal people? I mean,
that's.
I scratch my balls just like you do. You know what I mean? You know, what the fuck, you know. I've had a great career that I'm very grateful for. You know, I didn't change the world, but I got my dream, which is to be a lifelong musician. You know, and I still got a lot of work and a lot to do, and I'm still excited about it. I make these records. I mean, I'm not making them to get stinking rich anymore, because that doesn't really happen. You know.
Yeah, talking about dreams.
An art form. It's like if you're a painter, would you just stop painting because you're not making $1 billion a painting? I mean, come on. I've been doing this since before I knew what money was for. I was 8 years old, so stands the reason that I'm 63 and that I still love to write and create in the recording studio and have the immediacy of playing live, and I really miss that. And that's why we put the band back together again. That's life.
Yeah, and talking about dreams, how excited it is to play with Ringo on your own CD, which you're a fan of the Beatles, and I know that.
Off the fact that he's one of my dearest friends now. We've been together almost 9 years, you know, and I've worked with Paul 3 or 4 times, you know. George, my friend, played with us, my first guitar hero. If you'd have told me that at 12 years old that, you know, Ringo would bring me my birthday cake at my house as a surprise on my 60th birthday, I was, you know, I've lived some impossible moments, but he really is one of my friends, one of my dear soul. If his name was Bob Smith, I swear, I mean, he's just, him and Barbara are just great people. And he's 80 and he acts like he's 50 and he's always up and he's like boom, 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 boom.
And he looks very positive always.
He plays great. He's excited about music and he's a soulful, caring, generous man. I can't say enough great things about him. He's everything you'd want him to be 1,000 times. I adore him. So, I mean, I get to do that. You know, there's things in my life that I've gotten a chance to do that are just beyond dreams. You know, so I don't think I know that. You know what I mean? I'm not smug about it. I'm not like, oh, it's no big deal. It's like, yeah, it's a big deal. But I don't treat him like that. And we're way past, oh, wow, it's Ringo, because he's. But I don't. Sometimes I look over when we're playing, I go, that's a Ringo. Damn. That's really.
I can't believe that.
I get a FaceTime. Ringo's on the phone. FaceTime. It's like, oh, great. It's like, you know, I get it. You know, I still get a little. You know, it still makes me smile. You know, because it's like, he's a big deal, man.
I mean, For me, it's the same when they call me to do this interview. It's like, what? It's like, jump out of the bed.
Come on, no, come on. I ain't anywhere near that league, man.
No, it's, yeah, for me, like, for me, Eddie and you were my two main inspirations always.
Ed was in a league all by himself. I was Ed's friend. You know, that's
Yeah, I know.
I never. People go, you got to do something, you know, some tribute to Ed. I go, no, I'm not good enough to be that guy. I'm not going to say. Alex and I laughed about it. I mean, I'm going, what are you going to do? Sit and watch a bunch of guys do impressions of your brother? Watch their asses while they do impressions of your brother? He goes, no, that's really the last thing in the world I would ever want to do. I go, yeah.
And Trevor and Wolfie, they never thought of doing something together because
they never did something. They're friends. I mean, you know, friendly anyway. You know, Trev has been very supportive of his, you know, during this time. So is my daughter, Lily. I mean,
but they are almost same age, right? Or
you know, yeah. Tina and Trev, you know, I used to bring them up to the house all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they, you know, they hung out with each other. Mm-hmm. They weren't super close, but they're close enough to be, hey, man. You know, my son called. They're both musicians and stuff, and they've been supportive of each other. But you know, yeah, all friends of friends, like Peter Frampton's son, Julie.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? You know, I have a lot of friends that are friends with friends. You know what I mean? So I mean,
I like one of the phrases of Peter Frampton in Lines on My Face that says, you can't erase a dream, you can only wake me up. And this is one of my favorite phrases ever. It's like
he's a brilliant artist.
Yeah,
one of my favorite people too. You know, he's a dear friend. You know, our show in an arena was opening for Peter Frampton in 1978. Wow. And we've been pals ever since. We worked together on records. We worked together on all kinds of stuff. Our sons are friends. You know, we used to party together. I worked on albums with him. Did some live playing with him. Open for him with my solo band. You know, I mean, he's just a world-class man. One of my favorite guitar players, too.
Yeah, I love him. And did you have ever thought like on doing an album with your son, or?
Well, he's worked on my records, but right now he's got putting his band Lavara together.
Yeah, I know. I heard some about that. Yeah.
You know, I mean, when that gets on the map, I mean, he's always worked on some of my solo records and stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, a real record, maybe in a few years. Who knows? It'd be fun to do before I die. You know, do a father.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. You know?
I think it'd be a really good record too. I think it'd be surprisingly. You know, he's a really talented writer. I think it'd be really good. I'd love to do something like that, or at least do you know, an EP or something. You know.
Does he influence you like with more modern stuff that you may not hear? They say, hey, Daddy, you have to check this out, or.
He plays really weird guitar, man. In the sorry, I gotta look at him. I started to go. Excuse me for a second. You know, to try to give him lessons and stuff. I noticed that he started playing. He had his own way of doing things, and I'm going, wait a second. 9:45. Okay, good. I noticed that he started developing his own style as a player and as a writer. Like he did the drop D tuning thing, but he did it not to do fifths. So sorry, but to do weird chord voicings in it for his writing. It was really something else, man. So I was really thrilled. So I stopped. You know, I said, the one thing I don't want you to do. Where are you? Where'd you go, man?
Oh, you didn't see me? I don't know. I still see you.
You see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay, well, okay, that's cool. You know, I just didn't want him to be another one of those shredder guys. There's a million of them. There's a billion of them. Mm-hmm. You know, the same guys. I said, don't, you know, be a great songwriter. Come up with great parts. Come up with great chords. Or, you know, have great time. You know what I mean? You know, get great sounds. Be somebody that knows how to, you know, listen to a simple song and add parts. Mm-hmm. I go and play tasty melodic solos. And I said, and you work for the rest of your life. And that's what he's been doing for 10 years. I mean, he co-wrote Hailstorm's first hit single. He co-wrote that, and he's got a first gold record and shit. So, you know, he's been working sessions, and now he's doing production and songwriting for other people and engineering. So, I mean, I told him, learn it all, man. And if you do, it just opens up your options as being you know, somebody who does it all.
Uh-huh.
And
You know,
these days, with budgets the way they are, they're looking for people that can do it all. We got this amount of money. Can you make me a record for this amount of money?
yeah, that's the new scene now. I was
And
thinking when you were saying about the drop D and voicings and everything. You are very good known for your, guitar playing, your style, your voice. Everyone can recognize it. But when I was singing the album, when I heard the song "I Found the Sun Again," there's like one part at the end that kind of like just, let's say, just fusion or whatever kind of harmony. But when I heard it's like, this is completely Luke, and I think you have a very own harmony style to do like progressions.
I had Joseph help me with some of those harmonies, but that's a love song. I mean, I fell in love with my girl. I didn't think I'd fall in love again. I did, and that's the title. I found the sun again. I was lying on I was just sitting on the couch every weekend, 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
I went on 3 dates in 11 years, and nothing happened. It was just, I just lost after my last divorce. It just crushed me, and I would just stay home on the couch with my kids and just do nothing. I was withering away, and then this girl came into my life and just introduced fun and love and all sorts of wonderful things to me. So that's a dedication to her. Ordinarily, I wouldn't. It's funny, man. I'm the guy who's bitching about, like, come on, let's make it harder edge, and I'm the one that writes the love songs. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, you're getting romantic. That's good.
Hey, man, love is something that we all need, want. Anybody that tells you they don't is lying. Because, I mean, I didn't think I needed it. Boy, when I got it back, I realized what an empty soul I was. And, whatever kind of love is love, man.
Yeah. And now with all the situation, love is the only thing that can heal the world and save us.
Yeah, I mean, it gets boring to listen to it if everybody writes "Ooh Baby" love songs, but this is just more of an alluding to the fact of my world opened up again. I'm seeing the back end of my life, the back five, if you will. I don't know how much you got.
I'm glad to hear that. That's good.
I mean, I don't know how much longer I got. How many great summers do I have left? I want to make the most of it. You know what I mean?
A lot. You must have a lot.
Well, I am happy. And I had to let some shit go and let some negative people go. And yeah, it hurts and yeah, it sucks, but that's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. And I was thinking, you're planning to go on tour with because you released the Joseph Williams album, your album.
Yeah.
That's like the thing. What's your plans?
We were gonna do that anyway because we're same label and we love each other and we used to share the band and do each other's songs and it financially made much more sense. And then my agent goes, "Why don't you just call the band Toto? You paid for the name. You can't. I mean, you have a lot of legal fees. You got to use it." Paige stands with us, and Paige goes, "Use the name." So I mixed it up by calling it the Dogs of Oz, which is kind of a wink, wink to Toto, and everybody will know the difference. And that's why I did this. Wanted to do the street live streaming thing to hear the new band play some of the old stuff, and rest assured people that they're going to get a kick-ass Toto show when they come see us, because there was, how can you not use this guy? Oh, it's never going to be the same. Oh, Lukather's not this, but it's all about Lukather. There's nobody let Toto died after Jeff. Arguably things you could say, okay, that might be true, but I'm still alive, and I had something to do with the music, and as long as it sounds good, and I'm doing it justice, and I'm not doing shitty versions of it. I think I have a right to do it, and Joseph legitimizes it with me because he's singing songs he sang that were hits, and everybody knows what he sounds like singing Toto music. He's been doing it for the last 11 years anyway. Plus did it for 4 or 5 years when he was in the band in the 80s. So, I mean, it's really a high octane version of what was the band before this one. People will be surprised.
I hope soon you can come to Europe to play and tour.
We will. We have plans. I got tours booked. It's just a matter of, can we?
Yeah, no. And I think when these things open and
We're ready. I'll put it to you that way. We're ready.
That's great. We're ready too to go.
I can't wait to go. I love being home with my family, but I'm like, okay, I had the best suntan of my life this summer, but I'll probably die of skin cancer because.
I was thinking another question I wanted, like, is like a personal question, like may seem strange, but have you ever thought of composing an album without playing guitar, so you don't get, I don't know how you say, you don't get forced, like, because when you play guitar, sometimes.
I know what you're saying. You know, we had a little bit of a foray doing a film called Dune back in 19.
Yeah, I know Dune. Yeah.
I love to play the guitar, man. Why would I do
know,
that?
yeah.
Voice. I mean, I'm not really much of a singer, you know, but I do it because I have to.
Okay.
Sing some of my songs, okay, but I never thought of myself as a singer. I don't even write it down. But I'm a guitar player. That's my voice, you know. So I mean, I would want to do it with that. Maybe more orchestral, but ballad leaning.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kip Winger did a very great orchestral album.
Melodies. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do next. You know what I mean? I don't know if full albums are going to be relevant in 5 years or something like that. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to be.
Well, but I mean, right now the music industry is like crazy. I mean, I guess people who's 15 don't listen to this.
The world is changing. I'm not sure which way it's going. I'm hoping for the best. That's all I can say. And I got to go because I got another one of these. I hate to be a drag.
Okay, don't worry. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, man.
Yeah. Do you mind if I could post the video in Facebook, Instagram, or your?
Sure, I don't care. Why not?
You don't care? Okay. Well, it was a great pleasure, Steve.
Thank you, my brother. You take care of yourself.
Thanks to you.
Bye now.
You too. Bye-bye. Take care.